Hello everybody, welcome to ixam. We started with previous year question series yesterday and we discussed the previous year questions from Constitution. आज की इस वीडियो में हम अगला टॉपिक कवर करेंगे दैट इज लॉ ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स। लॉ ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट में आपके चार टॉपिक हैं, इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट, स्पेसिफिक रिलीफ एक्ट, पार्टनरशिप एक्ट एंड सेल ऑफ गुड्स एक्ट। सेल ऑफ गुड्स एक्ट में से एक भी क्वेश्चन नहीं आया है क्योंकि ये टॉपिक इसी बार ऐड हुआ है। तो इस वीडियो में आपको प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस मिलेंगे फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट थ्री एक्ट्स, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, स्पेसिफिक रिलीफ एंड पार्टनरशिप एक्ट। दिस टॉपिक हैज 25% weightage in this exam, so let's start. First question from Contract Act. The rights concerning a contract are decided by parties to the contract, Indian Contract Act, law of equity, both A and B, A, B and C. The correct answer here is D, both A and B. The rights concerning a contract are decided by parties to the contract as per Indian Contract Act. Question number 2. Which section of Contract Act defines proposal? 2A, 2H, 2I, 2J and 2M. The correct answer here is A, 2A. Proposal is defined under section number 2A as when one person signifies to another his willingness to do or to abstain from doing anything with a view to obtaining the assent of that other to such act or abstinence he is said to make a proposal. Question number 3. An agreement enforceable by law is a contract. Is discussed under which section of Indian Contract Act? तो यहाँ पर agreement enforceable by law ये कहाँ पर mentioned है? This is mentioned in section 2H. Agreement enforceable by law is contract. Question number 4. What is contract as per Indian Contract Act? Agreement as per law, enforceable by law, agreement enforceable, law abiding agreement, offer plus acceptance. Correct answer here is B. Agreement enforceable by law. Section 2H में agreement enforceable by law is a contract. इसकी definition दी हुई है। तो ये question दो बार आ चुका है अलग अलग सालों में। Question number 5. An acceptance may be revoked at any time before the communication of, तो एक्सेप्टेंस को कब रिवोक किया जा सकता है? करेक्ट आंसर हियर इज सी। एक्सेप्टेंस इज कंप्लीट एज अगेंस्ट द एक्सेप्टर बट नॉट आफ्टरवर्ड्स। तो एक्सेप्टेंस को रिवोक किया जा सकता है बिफोर द कम्युनिकेशन ऑफ एक्सेप्टेंस इज कंप्लीट एज अगेंस्ट द एक्सेप्टर बट नॉट आफ्टरवर्ड्स। ये आपको सेक्शन नंबर 5 ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट में दिया हुआ है, रेवोकेशन ऑफ प्रपोजल एंड एक्सेप्टेंस। प्रपोजल कैन बी रिवोक्ड एट एनी टाइम बिफोर कम्युनिकेशन ऑफ इट्स एक्सेप्टेंस इज कंप्लीट एज अगेंस्ट द प्रपोजल बट नॉट आफ्टरवर्ड्स। Acceptance may be revoked at any time before the communication of acceptance is complete as against the acceptor but not afterwards. Question number 6. Which of the following is the mode for revocation of proposal? Correct answer here is all of the above. Revocation of proposal के लिए कोई भी मोड फॉलो किया जा सकता है। ये आपको सेक्शन नंबर 6 ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट में दिया हुआ है। By communication of notice of revocation by the proposal to other party, by lapse of time prescribed in such proposal for its acceptance, by failure of acceptor to fulfill a condition, by death or insanity of the proposer. Question number 7. Which of the following statements about acceptance is false? आप ये statements पढ़ सकते हैं। The correct answer here is implied acceptance is not considered as a valid acceptance. Option number 4 is the correct answer. This is false statement related to acceptance. जो acceptance है वो implied नहीं होनी चाहिए. It should be explicit. Implied acceptance is actually considered as a valid acceptance of offer. However, valid acceptance नहीं माना जाता. Section 8 of Indian Contract Act provides that acceptance by conduct or action of the promisee is acceptable. Question number 8. Contract made by a person under undue influence is. Correct answer here is B. Voidable at the option of party whose consent was so obtained. तो अगर किसी को undue influence करके उसका consent लिया गया है तो उस केस में contract becomes voidable at the option of the party जिसका वैसे consent लिया गया था। ये आपको section number 19A में दिया हुआ है, part to set aside contract which is induced by undue influence. Contract actually is an agreement which is freely entered between the parties, but when consent to an agreement is obtained by undue influence, then the contract is voidable at the option of party whose consent was so obtained. Question number 9. Which section covers contingent contracts as per Indian Contract Act? Contingent contracts से 3 questions आ चुके हैं over different papers and exams. So contingent contract is covered under section number 31. Section 31 defines contingent contracts and discusses it. A contingent contract is a contract to do or not to do something if some event collateral to such contract does or does not happen. Question number 10. Which of the following is not true about contingent contracts? You can read the options, you can pause the screen. हमें बताना है क्या इनमें से ट्रू नहीं है। करेक्ट आंसर इज कंटिंजेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज ऑलवेज वेजरिंग इन नेचर। That is option number 4. Contingent contracts have all the above mentioned features. Contracting parties has interest in the subject matter. The uncertain event should be collateral. It is a contract to do or not to do something with reference to a collateral event happening or not happening. However, it may be wagering in nature or it may not be. Question number 11. A agrees to pay 1000 rupees to B if B will marry A's daughter C. C was dead at the time of agreement. What type of agreement is it? It is wagering, contract, wagering agreement, contingent agreement. The correct answer is contingent agreement. Contingent agreement to do or not to do anything if an impossible event happens are void, whether the impossibility of the event is known or not to the parties to agreement at the time when it was made. Section 36 of Indian Contract Act deals with contingent agreement. और जो agreement illustration में mentioned है in the question, that is a contingent agreement. Question number 12. Substitution of old contract with new one is bad in law, is erroneous, is novation of contract, is merger, is assignment. Correct answer is novation. ओल्ड कॉन्ट्रैक्ट को न्यू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट से सब्सटीट्यूट करने को नोवेशन कहा जाता है एज पर सेक्शन नंबर 62 ऑफ इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट विच टॉक्स अबाउट इफेक्ट ऑफ नोवेशन, रेसिशन एंड ऑल्टरेशन ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. Question number 13. When an agreement is discovered to be void or when a contract becomes void, any person who has received any advantage under such agreement or contract is bound. Option E. When an agreement is discovered to be void or contract becomes void, any person who has received any advantage under such agreement or contract is bound to restore it or to make compensation for it to the person from whom he received it. तो अगर वो void हो जाता है तो जिसने भी advantage लिया है उसको वो वापस करना होगा या फिर उसके हिसाब से compensate करना होगा. This is given under section number 65 of Indian Contract Act. Obligation of person who has received advantage under void agreement or contract that becomes void. Okay, so moving to question number 14. I think marking मुझसे गलत हो गई है यहाँ पर. This is question number 14. A singer contracts with B, the manager of a theatre, to sing at his theatre for 2 nights in every week during the next 2 months, and B engages to pay her 100 rupees for each night's performance. On the 6th night, A willfully absents herself from the theatre, and B in consequence rescinds the contract. So what will happen? B must not pay anything to A. B must pay A for 5 nights for which she has sung. B must pay A for all the nights under the contract. B must pay for 6 nights. None of the above. Correct answer is B. B को 5 nights के लिए पेमेंट करनी होगी. 6 नाइट को जब A एब्सेंट था तो उसके बाद की पेमेंट नहीं होगी. The contract has been rescinded. Section 65 of Contract Act says obligation of person who has received advantage under void agreement or contract that becomes void. तो क्योंकि बी को 5 नाइट्स की परफॉर्मेंस मिल चुकी है उसको 5 नाइट्स के लिए पेमेंट करनी होगी. ये आपका इलस्ट्रेशन सी में दिया हुआ है. Then the next question, when a contract has been broken, compensation for any loss or damage caused to an aggrieved party shall be given for loss that naturally arose in the usual course of things. Compensation is not to be given for any remote and indirect loss, the loss which the parties knew, either A or C, either of the above. Correct answer here is D, either A or C. So compensation can be given for the loss that naturally arose in the usual course of things from such breach, or the loss which the parties knew when they made the contract to be likely to result from breach of it. This is given under section number 73 of Indian Contract Act, compensation for loss or damage caused by breach of contract. When a contract has been broken, the party who suffers by such breach is entitled to receive from the party who has broken the contract compensation for any loss or damage caused to him thereby which naturally arose in the usual course of things from such breach, or which the parties knew when they made the contract to be likely to the result from the breach of it. Next question, what are the rights which are available to an indemnity holder as per Indian Contract Act? Damages, subrogation, refuse indemnity, all of the above, both A and B. Correct answer here is A, damages. ये आपका सेक्शन नंबर 125 में दिया हुआ है. राइट ऑफ इंडेमनिटी होल्डर व्हेन sued. The promisee in a contract of indemnity acting within the scope of his authority is entitled to recover from the promisor all damages which he may have been compelled to pay in any suit in respect of any matter to which the promise to indemnify applies. इन सभी चीजों को रिकवर किया जा सकता है. All these come under the rights of indemnity holder. Next question. A gratuitous bailor is duty bound to disclose to the bailee faults in the goods bailed which bailor is aware of, disclose the defects which are immaterial, disclose the faults which may not expose the bailee to extraordinary risk, disclose to the bailee a list of all possible faults which may or may not be present in goods but may arise in future, disclose to bailee the things bailee should be careful about. Correct answer is A. ग्रेच्यूटस बेलर को बेली को सब बताना होता है जो ऑलरेडी गुड्स में फॉल्ट्स हैं which the bailor is aware of. This is given under section number 150. Next question, it is the duty of bailor to return or deliver the goods bailed according to bailor's directions on demand as soon as the time for which they were bailed has expired or the purpose for which they were bailed has been accomplished. Then option B, C, D and E. आप ये सब पढ़ सकते हैं. Pause the screen here. The correct answer here is C. It is the duty of the bailor to return or deliver the goods bailed according to the bailor's directions without demand. Demand के बिना भी देने पड़ेंगे as soon as the time for which they were bailed has expired or the purpose for which they were bailed has been accomplished. ये आपका दिया हुआ है section number 160 of Indian Contract Act में. Next question, if a pawnor makes default in payment of the debt or performance at the stipulated time of the promise in respect of which the goods were pledged, the pawnee may. The correct answer here is option number E. The pawnee may bring a suit against the pawnor upon the debt or promise and retain the goods pledged as collateral security, or he may sell the things pledged on giving the pawnor reasonable notice of sale. ये आपको दिया हुआ है section number 176 of Indian Contract Act में. pawnee is right where pawnor makes default. pawnor ने debt नहीं पे किया तो pawnee के पास क्या क्या rights होते हैं. Question number 21. तो यहाँ पर 19 questions, एक नंबर बीच में प्रॉब्लम हो गया था तो आपको आई थिंक याद होगा. 19 questions have come from Indian Contract Act. Now next 4-5 questions are from Specific Relief Act and in the end 4-5 questions are from Indian Partnership Act. So Specific Relief Act ka first question, specific relief is granted for specific performance, compensation, damages, both A and B, all of the above. Correct answer is A. Specific relief is granted for specific performance. Specific Relief Act provides equitable remedy or relief, which means the exact fulfillment of an obligation. Under this, the court issues an order requiring a party to perform a specific act, directs performing the contract as per the terms and conditions as agreed between the parties, rather than the payment of compensation or damages for non-performance. Thus, the remedy granted is very same thing to which the aggrieved is entitled to rather than compensation. Next question. As per the Specific Relief Act, a person dispossessed of any movable property can file a suit within. The correct answer is option number A, within 6 months from dispossession. ये आपका section number 6 of Specific Relief Act में दिया हुआ है, suit by person dispossessed of immovable property. If any person is dispossessed without his consent of immovable property, otherwise than in due course of law, he or any person claiming through him may by suit recover possession thereof, notwithstanding any other title that may be set up in such suit. No suit shall be brought after the expiry of 6 months from date of possession against the government. No appeal shall lie from order or decree passed in any suit instituted under this section, nor shall any review of any such order or decree be allowed. Next question. A person entitled to possession of specific movable property may recover it in the manner provided by. Correct answer is Civil Procedure Code. Section 7 of Specific Relief Act talks about this, recovery of specific movable property. So a person who is entitled to movable property, to the possession of movable property, may recover it in the manner which is provided by Code of Civil Procedure. So Specific Relief Act section 6 provides possession of immovable property. Section 7 says अगर movable property है तो Civil Procedure Code लगेगा. Next question. In which case out of the following can court order specific performance of contract? तो आप options पढ़ लीजिए किस में specific performance order की जा सकती है. That is answer D. When in contract part which is left forms a small part of the total value of contract and admits to compensation in money. This is section 12 of Specific Relief Act. Court may direct specific performance of so much of contract as can be performed and award compensation of money for the rest in this case. Then the next question, in a suit for specific performance of contract, compensation can be claimed as damages, cannot be claimed, can be claimed in additional to specific performance, can be claimed in substitution of specific performance, either C or D. Correct answer is E. जो compensation है वो claim किया जा सकता है या तो addition to specific performance या substitution of specific performance. Section 21 of Specific Relief Act talks about part to award compensation in certain cases. Plaintiff may claim compensation either in addition to or in substitution of the specific performance. Then the next question is from Partnership Act. In order to bind a firm, an act or instrument done or executed by a partner or other person on behalf of the firm shall be done or executed The correct answer here is option number A. This is given under section number 22 of Partnership Act, mode of doing act to bind the firm. In order to bind a firm, an act or instrument done or executed by a partner or other person on behalf of the firm shall be done or executed in the firm name or in any other manner expressing or implying an intention to bind the firm. Next question, if a partner commits wrongful acts within the course of business of firm, who shall be liable? The entire firm, partner only, designated partners, both B and C, only those partners who have in any way contributed to the wrongful or benefited from wrongful gain. The correct answer is option number A. Course of business of the firm में अगर wrongful act होता है तो entire firm की liability बनती है. Section number 26 of Indian Partnership Act talks about it, where by wrongful act or omission of a partner acting in ordinary course of business of firm or with the authority of his partners, loss or injury is caused to any third party or any penalty is incurred, the firm is liable thereof to the extent as the partner. This is the concept of vicarious liability in the case of partnership firms also. Section 26 and 27 covers this aspect. Next question, which of the following is true about a minor's liability in a partnership firm? Minor shall be personally liable, shall not be personally liable, shall not be liable personally but his shares can be liable, shall not be liable even after majority, shall not be liable for acts of firm done before his attaining majority. Answer is C. Minor shall not be liable personally, but जो उसका share है that will be liable for acts of the firm. This is given under section number 30 of Indian Partnership Act. Minors admitted to the benefits of partnership. A person who is a minor according to law to which he is subject may not be a partner in firm, but with the consent of all other partners, for the time being he may be admitted to benefits of partnership. Such minor has a right to such share of property and of profits of the firm as may be agreed upon, and if there is any problem, such minor share is liable for the acts of firm, but the minor is not personally liable for any such act. Next question. Under Partnership Act, the firm is dissolved by notice of partnership at will. The correct answer here is from the date mentioned in the notice as the date of dissolution, or if no date is so mentioned, as from the date of communication of notice. So if a firm is dissolved by notice of partnership at will, it will be enforceable from the date mentioned in notice as the date of dissolution, or if no such date is mentioned, then from date of communication of such notice. ये आपका section number 43 में दिया हुआ है, dissolution by notice of partnership at will. Where partnership is at will, the firm may be dissolved by any partner giving notice in writing to all the other partners of his intention to dissolve the firm. So these were all the previous year questions from the law of contracts. नीचे description में आपको एक document मिलेगा जिसमें important questions हैं, further practice questions from this area from law of contract. So if you want to have a quick revision, a quick round of practice, you can download that PDF and practice questions from all these 4 acts. आप अपने स्कोर को कमेंट बॉक्स में मेंशन भी कर सकते हैं, इससे आप भी मोटिवेटेड रहेंगे और बाकी सब भी मोटिवेटेड रहेंगे टू अटेम्प्ट द टेस्ट, टू गिव द एग्जाम. अगर आपकी कोई भी क्वेरीज, डाउट्स, कोई भी सजेशंस है, आप नीचे कमेंट बॉक्स में लिख सकते हैं. यू कैन ऑल्सो कॉल अस ऑन दिस नंबर. Our exam helps you prepare 50% faster with a crisp and concise content. Subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned. Thank you.